some things, and I clicked on the background in a few spots to see if I could get it. If it took out too much, then what I would do is lower my tolerance, maybe down to 10. Click around a little bit. One thing when it comes to the Magic Wand tool is that it usually looks at a single pixel when you click, and that single pixel could be noise or something else weird. If you go to the eyedropper tool, the eyedropper tool has a setting called sample size right here, and you can tell it to look at a larger area because it's going to use this setting as well when you use the eyedropper tool. If I set it to something like 5 by 5 average, then it's going to, when I use the Magic Wand tool, average an area that's 5 by 5 pixels instead of just picking up little bitty chunks of noise which might not be found in other parts of your picture. It will start selecting better things. Magic Wand tool, though, is pretty low tech, so if you move on from that, the other tool that I use more frequently than Magic Wand is if you click and hold down on it, we got the Quick Selection tool. The Quick Selection tool is one where you have a brush. You can make it larger if you want by using the square bracket keys. And if you click and drag across your image, it's going to look at where you paint, and it's going to select things that are similar in brightness, color, or texture. So it's just going to expand your selection until it notices a dramatic change in brightness, color, or texture. So if I use that and I click here and just drag over this and never get any overspray on the background, then that might be an easier way to select this. Sometimes having to click in a few extra areas, possibly with a smaller brush. And sometimes it's going to mess up, like down here where there might be little or no difference between these two areas. And that's where I might switch to another tool like the lasso, hold shift to say I want to add to this, and say fine, I'll trace that one precisely myself and add to it. Okay? I'd usually be zoomed up so I can see it better. You might hold shift and just say over here, you didn't quite get that. I'm using a lasso tool to supplement it. Okay? All right, so quick mask mode. With quick mask mode, all you do is you type the letter Q. Q gets you to quick mask. It's going to transform your selection into a red overlay. And if you have a feathered selection where the edge fades out, the edge of this will look blurry. It'll look soft. There are lots of different things that I can do with quick mask mode. So all it does is take your selection and transform it into this red overlay. When you're done using it, you hit the letter Q again. And you're out of it, you're back to a selection. So let's look at a few of the things that we might be able to use. Let's say I need a selection that's crisp edged around the sides, top, and things, but not at the bottom. Down here it was out of focus or just the transition was soft, and I need it to be soft here. Well, I could go over to my tools that are found over here. One of them is a blur tool. This guy right here looks like a drop of water. And if I use that tool, get a larger brush, I can come down here and just paint across here. I'll have to paint multiple times and build it up. And what I'm doing right there is if I zoom up, you might be able to see it better. There's a 100% view. I'm softening that edge. If it doesn't seem to be happening fast enough, bring up the strength setting. I'll bring it all the way up to 100. And if I click multiple times, it should be softening that up. So that I end up with a hard edge up here and a softer edge down below. If that's taking too much time, when you're in quick mask mode, you can still use selections. So I can select this area down here and blur the mask. Blurring a mask is the same as feathering a selection. You see the bottom edge changing? The only thing you have to be careful of there is my selection ends abruptly right here. And so that blurring